On last month's installment of This Is Why You Suck at Guitar, I helped shape the minds of a future generation of Shred-Eye Knights by showing you guys the 4 different ways you need to learn how to play every scale. But they were all of them deceived, for another scale shape was made, one to rule them all. I've been melting faces across Middle Earth for years using a really unique 3+4 scale pattern concept, and I've never spilt the beans about it, until now. On today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to use this scale pattern concept across all 7 of the modes. That way you can start shredding your way across the Shire faster than you can say Buckleberry Ferry. Hey there kids, it's your good buddy, Uncle Ben. On today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to use this 3+4 scale pattern approach through all 7 modes of the key of G. Because after all, you can't spell guitar without G. These are great to use in your playing because they're really easy to visualize and they're a lot less difficult to memorize than some of those big, huge 6-string scale patterns that we all see. And that's especially important for those of you who are fond of the old long bottom leaf, or old Toby, like me. As always, this video is brought to you guys by everybody who supports my channel over on my Patreon page, patreon.com/BenEllerGuitars. Sign up today for access to all the goods, including bonus lessons, backing tracks, downloadable tabs, and so much more. This week, everybody who supports my channel, even for just $1 a month, is going to get access to a metric buttload of stuff to go along with this video. You're going to get the charts I made to go along with all 7 of these mode patterns, as well as a very special bonus video showing you guys some of my favorite shredding strategies to use with them. You're going to want to check that stuff out, so don't delay, sign up today. Patreon.com/BenEllerGuitars. Gear-wise for today's video, I'm going to be using my beautimous new Jackson SL2 American Series Soloist. This thing is absolutely bananas with its neck-through design and hardtail bridge and those OMG pick-em-ups. And I'm playing that today through my Synergy rig. I'm using the OS module, which is their take on the classic Dumble circuit. It's quite lovely. Now let's get you shrieking and wailing through the modes, just like the ring wraiths of old. First things first, I gotta put out a little disclaimer here. This is a lesson on shapes, patterns. This isn't a lesson on harmony, which is really what makes the modes thrive. Modes are so much more than just scale shapes. Just because you're wiggling your hand fingers through a particular scale pattern that was labeled Phrygian doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to sound all exotic and frilly-shirty and stuff like you want it to. One of these days I'm going to get around to putting out a whole music theory course about all this stuff, breaking it down in ways that I guarantee nobody's ever seen. So stay tuned for that stuff, but for right now this is going to be a lesson on some extremely useful and easy to use shapes. So like I said, we're going to be in the G major scale here. That means we're going to be using the notes G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and G. We're going to take each of those 7 notes right there and use them to start a particular scale. I'm going to show you guys as we go here. Let's start off here by talking about G. Now, the scale that gets attached to that is the Ionian mode. That's the same thing as the major scale. Here's how we're going to play it with this 3+4 scale pattern configuration. Really easy to see that one, right? You got that big wide stretch here starting on the low E string. And then after that last note, just move up a step. Now the cool thing about arranging the notes this way is when you play it as 3+4, that's the entire scale. That's all 7 notes. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp. Now the cool thing is you can copy and paste that 2-string pattern that you just learned, only start it from this G note, which is right in the neighborhood of where you just left off anyway. Your first finger is now right here on the D string, which is a G note, just like what you started on. So you can copy and paste that exact same idea, only starting from that G note. Check it out. Exact same shape, exact same 7 notes. Now from this position, you can find your G note again on the B string, this time fret number 8. Copy and paste that same shape. So you've only played one 2-string shape 3 times in a row, starting from different Gs. And then right next door is your root note G again up top. This is a great way to learn all your scales because it's going to help you find root notes all over the board, not just always be stuck thinking about the low E string as your starting point like a lot of guitar players are. Cool thing about these is too, they cover a lot of sonic territory. You know, if you compare that to like a 3-note per string scale shape, that only goes up to C, but we're reaching all the way up to that root note G again right here. So it covers a lot of range. Now let's move up to the second note of the scale, the A note. The second note gets the Dorian mode attached to it, and our 3+4 scale shape looks something like this. That's all 7 notes of the Dorian scale. Now that's going to put you right here at this A note, or we can copy and paste the same idea. From there, put it on top of this A note on the B string fret number 10. And again, you have your high A root note just above it right there. After this, we're going to reach the third note, the B. This is where the Phrygian mode goes. It's always on the third note. And it's going to look like this. Here's your next B note. Here's your next B note. And your high B root note up top. After this, you can go to the C note here, which is the 4th note of the scale. This is where Mr. Lydian mode goes, which is the prettiest mode in all the Shire. It looks and sounds like this. After that, copy and paste from this C note. After that, go to this C note, 13th fret on the B string. Then you have your high C root note up top. After this, we're up to the D note, the 5th note of the scale. This is where the mighty Mixolydian goes, and it's going to look something like this. Here's the next D note, same shape. We're going to go to this D note, a little bit of a jump this time because of that B string, same shape. High D note up top. Up next, let's go up to the 6th note of the scale, which is E. Find that here on the 12th fret on the low E string. This is where we're going to put the Aeolian mode. You can also call that one the minor scale. Just don't call it late for second breakfast. Am I right? Yeah. Anyway, the shape for that one is going to look something like this. Next D note. Next D note. Of course, you got that high E up top. You got a 24 fretter like myself. After this, we reach the 7th mode, which is the F sharp Locrian mode. Not exactly the prettiest one here, but it's still worth learning. Here's what it looks like. Start off from F sharp. We're going to have this shape. Next F sharp. And then after this, the final F sharp. High F sharp if you can bend your way to it. And keep in mind, if you're playing an adult guitar that doesn't have that many frets on it, you can always put that 1 octave lower. So down here on this F sharp note, help you learn the board more better anyway. It looked like this. I'm going to play all 7 of these again with their respective chord playing in the background. That way you can really hear the harmony of these things. Like I said, it's not enough just to know the shape. You got to know what it's being played over to sound the way it's supposed to. So I'm going to be playing these all over their accompanying chords. I'll put those on screen as we go along too. Start off here with G Ionian over a G major chord. A Dorian over an A minor chord. B Phrygian over B minor. C Lydian over C major. D Mixolydian, D major. E Aeolian over E minor. And lastly, F sharp Locrian over an F sharp diminished chord. And that makes 7 shapes for the modes, who above all else crave melody. So there you go, guys, a journey deep into the minds of Modia. Here with your good buddy, Uncle Ben. Like I said, those are just some shapes. Do with them what you will. There's a lot that you can do with these battle areas, and I'm gonna show it to you guys in the Patreon bonus video that goes along with this one. Give you some more ideas about how to operate these things, how to phrase inside of them and get around some of those awkward shifts and stretches that you gotta do to play these things. It's gonna make it a lot easier for you guys, so be sure to check out that video. It's gonna be available to everybody, even at just that $1 a month level, as well as the charts to go along with this and all kinds of other bonus goodies. So don't delay, sign up today, patreon.com/Ben Eller Guitars. Thanks so much for watching this video. Let me know any questions you got down there in the comment section and I'll get to them. Be sure to like the video, ring the bell, subscribe to the channel, all that other good stuff really helps us out a ton over here. So be sure to do all that stuff before you guys leave. I recommend getting away from the computer machine, maybe going outside and getting yourself some sunshine and then picking up that guitar and mashing on these scales. Less clicking, more picking. But they were all of them deceived, for another scale pattern was made.